Okay, so Microsoft just dropped something that could completely change the way we work. Seriously, it's called Copilot Cowork, and today we're going to investigate what it is, what it really is, and what it means for you and your team. Think about it. For the last year or so, we've gotten pretty used to AI assistants that are great at answering our questions. But what if they could take that next giant leap? What if instead of telling you how to do something, your AI just, well, did it for you? That's the huge idea we're digging into today. To make that happen, Microsoft is making a pretty big pivot in its whole AI strategy. And look, this isn't just another software update. They are literally framing this as a brand new era for how we interact with AI in our jobs, moving from just chatting with it to having it take direct action.
And this quote from the big announcement, it says it all. You gotta focus on that one word, execution. This isn't about making chats a little bit better or summaries a little bit smarter. No. This is about going from a passive AI assistant to a proactive AI agent that actually gets things done.
And that right there is the key difference. A chatbot is reactive, right? You give it a prompt, it gives you a response, and then it just waits for the next command. An agent, on the other hand, is proactive. You give it a goal, and it figures out all the steps to get there on its own. This brings us to this core concept you're going to hear a lot about, agentic AI. Think of it like this. Instead of asking your GPS for directions one turn at a time, you just tell it where you want to go, and it handles the whole trip, rerouting for traffic, making decisions, the whole shebang. That is the massive leap we are talking about here. So that's the big idea. But what does this new AI agent actually look like when you're using it? I mean, how would you really work with this thing day to day? Well, the way you interact with it is completely different. You don't give it a bunch of little commands anymore. You give it a high-level goal, an outcome. So, for instance, you don't say, find the latest sales data, then put that data in a chart, then add that chart to a slide. You just say, get me ready for the big client meeting. And here's how that actually plays out. You just state your goal. The AI then uses what Microsoft is calling its Work IQ, which is basically its understanding of all your company's data to create a multi-step plan. It starts working in the background, drafting documents, building presentations, analyzing data. But here's the thing, you're not out of the loop. You can jump in, steer the process, and it'll even check in with you for approval at key moments before it saves all the final deliverables. Okay, this all sounds incredibly powerful, almost like science fiction. But it immediately brings up some really serious questions. I mean, if an AI has this level of freedom and access to everything, how can you trust it? And what are the hidden trade-offs? Right, this is the first and, let's be honest, the most important question for any business. You're basically handing an AI agent the keys to your entire kingdom of data. So how in the world is that data being protected? Well, Microsoft's answer is actually pretty simple. Cowork just inherits all the security you already have. It operates entirely inside your company's existing Microsoft 365 tenant. That's your private digital workspace. This means all your current security policies, all your user permissions, they just apply automatically. If you can't access a file, neither can your AI agent. And this is absolutely crucial. Microsoft states very clearly that none of your data, your prompts, your responses, none of it is used to train their big AI models. It all stays within your company's digital walls. Okay, so the security is designed to be rock solid, enterprise grade. We get it. But come on, no technology is perfect. There's always a catch, right? There's always a compromise. So what is it with Copilot Cow? The catch, it seems, lies in the trade-offs. So it turns out Microsoft actually licensed some of the core technology from a company called Anthropic for their own agent called Claude Coworker. But Microsoft made a really key change. See, Anthropic's version can run locally on your machine and connect to third-party apps like Slack or Google Drive. Microsoft's version, however, runs in their cloud and is completely restricted to the Microsoft 365 world. So the trade-off is crystal clear. You get incredibly deep, secure integration with all your Microsoft apps, but you give up access to, well, everything else.
So when you zoom out, you start to realize this is about way more than just a new product feature. The launch of agentic AI like this, it represents a fundamental shift in our entire relationship with technology. And, this quote from some recent academic research just absolutely nails it. We are moving away from thinking about AI as just a smarter form of automation. Something that just does boring, repetitive tasks for us, and we're moving towards seeing it as a genuine partner in our work. Think about the difference for a second. A tool, like a hammer, just sits there. It waits for you to pick it up and tell it what to do. A colleague, on the other hand,
A colleague understands the team's goal, they proactively contribute ideas, and they work right alongside you to get the job done. That is the new paradigm that these agent systems, like Copilot Cowork, are bringing to the table. All right, let's get down to brass tacks here. We've investigated what it is, how it works, and the big ideas behind it. So what does this thing cost, and when can you actually get it?
$99. That's the price, per user, per month. It's for a new bundle called the Microsoft 365 E7 Suite, which takes their existing enterprise plans and adds Copilot and all these new agent capabilities. So yeah, Microsoft is making it very clear. This is a premium, top-tier offering that they believe will drive some serious productivity.
So, when can you get your hands on it? Well, it's gonna be a phased rollout. A really limited research preview is actually happening right now. Then, early adopters in their Frontier program will get access in March of 2026. The new E7 license becomes generally available on May 1st, but the full Cowork experience for everybody, that official date is still to be determined. And that brings us to the final and maybe the most important question of our investigation. This technology isn't science fiction anymore. It is arriving. It promises to take all the busy work off our plates and free us up for bigger, more strategic things. But it's also going to require a totally new way of thinking, of managing, and of collaborating. So the question is no longer if an AI will join your team, but when. And will you be ready when it does?